Okay guys, we're at it. For the last 30 minutes, I've been mixing up refractory, and like always, it's either too soupy or too dry. And right now, it's just a little bit on the wet side, just a smidgen. I'm going to throw in a couple more scoops and then mix it up, and we'll start pouring our refractory. Now this is 25 to 2700 degree refractory. I don't remember exactly what this stuff cost. I think it was right around $100 a bag, 55-pound bag, and oh man, like I said, 1 minute soup, 1 minute is mud, but it's looking pretty good. I just got to get the dry spot mixed up. And we'll be ready to go. Come on. That's looking better now. The other problem is always guessing how much is enough to fill your furnace. So you just have to kind of eyeball the overall size and then subtract the core, your mold, go accordingly. Now I'm not quite sure. Got a couple of dry spots. I know I got enough in here to do the base with plenty to spare. I just don't know if I got enough left over to do the top. So I might have to mix up another batch just to do the top. But we'll see what we can get done in this section. That looks pretty consistent now. Okay, let's give it a shot. We have no way to go but up. You'll notice it looks rather thick, and it's not soupy, and it's not flowing like concrete. It has to be drier than mortar. So now I'm just working it in to the base. If you remember the last video, I showed you the plug I put in there. So I'm just filling this up so that I know I got enough to come all the way up to the plug. The hardest part, once you get this in, you gotta make sure you get the air bubbles out. You want to pack it down. You gotta also watch when you start packing refractory around the filler, the burner tube, you got to really make sure that you pack around and under it. Otherwise, you're going to get a void there. Now, I've got enough in there. Now, this is the real problem. I tried several different setups, and I had to readjust my spacers several times. And we're going to see if we can get it right this time. Oh my God, I got it on the first shot. Alright, now I marked where my burner's supposed to be and added another wedge to my spacers because it wasn't sitting just right, and now I got it. It's in perfect. Alright, so now we can start adding, and you want to add around your burner first, because like I said, you don't want a void underneath there. So you fill that section first, and then you got to ram it down. And when you're ramming, you don't want to pull your ramrod or stick, whatever you're going to use. You don't want to pull it out and then back into your refractory. You know, you don't want to pull it all the way out and then all the way back in, all the way back out, because every time you pull that rod out and you push it back in, you're trapping air on the end of that rod or stick or whatever you're using. So you're forcing air bubbles down into your refractory. You don't want that. You gotta avoid that. Now I'm going to use 3/8 rod. Now I had this almost up to the top here, and just by ramming right alongside the burner tube, it's already down almost flush to the burner tube. And I'm just doing short up and down strokes, keeping the rod under the surface so I don't trap any air. And I can see bubbles coming up around the burner tube as I'm pumping that refractory down in there. There comes a big bubble. Now that refractory going in there, you saw, was rather dry, and yet while I'm pumping this back and forth here, the water is coming up to the surface. So I'm actually getting little puddles of water. Okay, I need more. Ooh, I thought I had enough. Maybe I don't. It looks like it's gonna be damn close. I might have to mix up another batch real quick. Now that's another thing. You can mix more as you need it, and keep adding it in. The curing time on this refractory is not minutes like glue, it's hours. you know what? I don't think I'm going to have enough. Oh, this stuff really settles down to the bottom. Get it down in there, get some in there. I don't think I made enough. We're going to be probably about 3/4 full. Okay, I think I can safely remove that spacer because I got enough refractory holding it in place. This stuff does settle right down to the bottom. That's why you hear me scraping on the wheelbarrow. It settles down quite rapidly. Now you can see, well, as I pump this down, you'll see the water coming up to the top. That's what I mean, it settles. The refractory drops down and the water comes to the surface. And as soon as I get this pretty much blended in, okay, I'm gonna pull that one out. Pull that one out. Now the last one. Okay. And you can feel when you're thumping it, you can feel the hard spots, and then you'll feel a soft spot. That's your watery spot. And you gotta work that around. Let the water come up and the refractory drop in. Now this whole side here, I can feel it's pretty much water. Now I'm getting a hard spot over here. There's hard. I don't know if you can hear the thudding when you get it to go down. She starts thumping, and that's what you want. Now, several websites or forums have said to, if you got a vibrator of some kind, you could put it on a vibrator, and that would not only settle down everything, but it'll also work all the bubbles right straight up. Well, I got a vibrator, but it's for dentistry. It's just a little vibrator like that. I don't know if it'll even do any good, but I can throw it on here and see. This might be too heavy for it. I feel a little vibration through the side of the tank. If I start seeing bubbles coming to the surface, I'll know it's working. Oh, I do see some bubbles along the outside edge. That's interesting. It's not that big of a vibrator. Oh, there's more bubbles coming up. Hey, that's working a little bit. It's coming up along the outside. There's some more coming up along the outside. That's cool. Huh. It is working a little bit. There's more bubbles coming. And you notice I'm not pulling the rod completely out. I'm keeping it down in the soup, so to speak. I've got a good hard section over the burner tube, so I must have really packed that in pretty good. All the soupy stuff is over on the sides, around. So the bad news is I gotta make more refractory. Okay, now the question is how much? Yeah, a little bit more. It's going to be close. Let's see what happens. Now I use a half a gallon of water for all that refractory. I got that just about right off the bat. said just about right, talking about mixing the water to the refractory. I'm notorious for adding too much water. I'll look at it and I'll say, just a touch more, just a touch more. And sure enough, you know what? I'm going to take that vibrator off of there. I think that's too much weight for it. I don't want to burn that out. Okay, I got a little bit more in here, and it ain't going to be enough. I thought I had just enough, and it ain't. So I'm going to have to mix up a little bit more. Oh my goodness, I came so close. Now, I've done this before, but it's not recommended. With all the water and thinness of the refractory at the top, I have sprinkled dry refractory in and just churned it, but it's definitely not recommended. It doesn't look like it's going to need too much more. Just get it thoroughly wet. And then when you mix it in with the rest of this and churn it, it comes out better. I'll be darned. I've got to do another batch. There's still not enough. And here I thought when I first mixed it up, I had so much I would be able to do most of the top as well. I'm close, but it's still got to have another couple of scoops. And that's probably taking about 80% of that 4-gallon bucket. Now this is just barely moist. That's just to get it all wet. Now, like I said, it is just barely moist. It took every drop of water that was in the wheelbarrow and sucked it right up. And now I'll put it in to all this soupy stuff and work it in, and that'll mix in. And I want that water to just drizzle off over the side and leave the refractory there. I still don't have enough. I should be having enough refractory to build all the way up to the top of that foam. And I don't think I'm gonna make it. And we're going to be dang close. We're going to be darn close. Maybe a scoop and a half left. And I think that's going to do it. I think that's going to do it. Push that down in there and get it mixed in with the water. And she's mixing. Like I said, I want that water to run off the outside and leaving the refractory in place. Got more bubbles coming up. Get that mixed in.